Welcome back to Season 8 of Wildcat Week. I'm your host, Isaac Wolf, alongside Bright Kari. We are today joined by two members of our number 11th ranked women's cross-country team. One of them, a freshman who graduated from my high school in Auburn, Indiana, Lakewood Park Christian. Yeah, very small school.
Yeah.
And the other, a junior from Brazil, Indiana, who ran with the team at Nationals just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Please welcome Sophia Haslett and Katie Morrison.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, obviously, the season has concluded. Your outdoor fall cross-country season has concluded. Kind of give me an overarching theme that each of you took away from this year.
One thing that we focused on this year from our coach was Galatians 6:9, which is don't get tired of doing good, for you will reap the harvest. So that is a verse that I really focused on this year, and that we as a team focused on, so that when things get hard and you get tired in practice, or you get tired of going to practice or doing school, you're in this together, and good things do come of it if you stick to it. So that's something that I really latched onto this year.
Yeah. I think similarly to that, coach also always says we run with our heart, our mind, and our legs. And so for me, I was injured for the entire season, but still being able to participate with the team, be encouraging and encouraging them to run with their heart, mind, and legs, and just making sure that we're happy, healthy, and hungry for more is always his goal. And I think it's really cool to see how coach implements that with us as well, and just to strive for excellence with the team as well. Just in all those areas has been really cool.
Katie, you got the opportunity to be in nationals this year.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like? Were you happy with your performance? Did you go out there kind of feeling you had more of team goals, or did you kind of have more individual goals?
I would say it was definitely team-oriented, because I wasn't an all-American contender or anything, so it was more go out there and give your all for your team. So I was really happy with how we did as a team. Obviously, as an individual, I want to continue to grow and get faster. But the team culture that we had this year, and just coming out of nationals, it wasn't IPR'd. It was oh, we did so good as a team, and we're just continuing to just get better every year. And so that's just something I'm really looking forward to in track, and next season just to continue to grow with everyone. I just love it so much.
And Sophia, for you, you mentioned this briefly, but you dealt with injuries this year.
Yeah.
So what was that like? What were some of the struggles that you encountered as a freshman, not being able to run right away? And what did it teach you?
It was really difficult, because I don't room with anyone on the team. I'm in the same housing, and my schedule doesn't really align with a lot of the girls. So honestly, coming into this season, I was super excited. I had a really great chance of being a really good runner on our team, but then to face this was really honestly devastating. But then still waking up the 5:30 practices and showing up, and then trying to fit in my swimming or my cross training was really difficult, and honestly really heavy to try to stay encouraging and happy all the time. But I think with the girls team, they really encourage us just to be real and authentic with each other. And so to have them supporting me and encouraging me as I'm trying to encourage them was super great. But what God's really taught me through that is to have patience. Really, Coach has been saying, Galatians 6:9, for at a proper time you will reap a good harvest. And so as I continue to do the little things good every day, and Coach says it so much, just to win the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether that's mentally, whether that's physically, going out and just doing 30 minutes of swimming if I can, and that alone brings a win to the team. And what can I do to bring the best to the team, even off of the course? And I think it's been really cool just to see the meaning behind that, because people always say on the course and off the course, be an encouragement, be a good team both ways. But when you can't be on the course, you're only carrying the off course part. But just to carry that and steward that was honestly really good. It's really encouraging, and yeah, just be patient for my own time.
What would you guys say was your biggest area of growth throughout this past season?
I think maybe don't quote me on this, but I think what our coach said was that this is the highest that the women's team had ever been ranked in school history.
Wow.
At one point, yeah. Don't go with that. At one point, we were like 4th or something. So that was the highest that I can ever remember it, like the highest that I've ever seen it. And then we did end up finishing 11th, but like we continued to grow, like personally, and like we continued to get faster. It's just that other teams also got faster. So that's just something that you can't control. So yeah, just controlling what you can control. And then my freshman year, like coming in, there were so many freshmen. And so I really wanted to focus on making the freshmen feel more like welcome this year, because I felt like, because there was like 9 of us when I was freshman, and we were more than half the team because it was a smaller team a couple years ago. So I really wanted to focus on just like reaching out more. And so I feel like the freshmen and the upperclassmen are closer. And as a result, like we've been able to really run workouts better together. And so I love that.
Yeah. I think coming from like a smaller school, it's been really easy for me to be very independently thinking. Like my times like impact so much more, I guess, on a smaller school and a smaller team, being like higher ranked. But I think coming here, like it really isn't about your times. It's just about, like who you are. And I think to see like the impact of each and every one of us girls on the team, not just like by our times, but like literally who we are, like in small group and at dinner and in events, like through cross country camp. Like no one really cares about your time, but I think through the culture, like that's really what bonded us together. And like, yeah, like even though like at one point we were seated 4th, but then by the time nationals came, we were at 11th. Like we were seated 14th, then ran 11th, which is super good. But like just to have the community, like we're all just proud of each other just for being here and like giving what we can. And like that's really something to see like happening is really, really cool. And probably one of my biggest takeaways that like it's not like about your times, just like who you are, and like we all just support each other.
You mentioned patience as one of the big things you learned this year through your injuries. So what are you most excited for, looking forward to the next 3 years?
Working hard. Like it's working hard in like on the off season is super cool, but then like working as a team, like once I learned that I was injured, I really just wanted to get back to running, and then I wanted to get back to doing having goals for like nationals or league. But when I realized that wasn't like gonna happen, my end goal was just to run with the team and to finish a good workout running hard. And so like one thing I'm just super excited and pumped about is just to like train hard with the girls, because I personally like more like the 800 more faster things than like a 6K, and it's like the aggressiveness and like the pace and just like the hard work is what I'm really excited about, instead of just like being on the sidelines, I guess. But yeah, definitely really, really pumped just to work hard and grind it all out.
How many miles go in a week of practice?
Depends on where you're at.
I think my highest that I've hit is 70.
Okay.
In a
Oh
week.
my goodness. I guess the season was very different for me, but I think the highest that I hit coming into the season was probably like 40. And then once I got injured and I could run, coach was like really small, so like 25.
Yeah.
But going into the next season, I think I'll be more like 45, 50.
We were talking to some of the guys on our last episode, and they range from 65 to 90.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like we interviewed Hunter. Hunter said he runs 90.
Hunter,
Hunter does that by choice. He's like, I want to run 100 miles a week. I'm like, you want to do that?
I could never. I don't think my body could take that. Like, coach really does a lot of cross training, and I'm so glad because I don't think I could do that.
We asked this to them because in every other sport, your sport is every other sport's punishment.
Right.
So like,
oh my gosh.
what motivates you to just run? Like, why is that the choice?
I can't imagine.
I'll be honest. I don't really like. I would not just like, maybe I'd go out and just like run 30 minutes easy, but I would never just like really. I never like. Yes, I get to like go through pain, but I love competing. It's the competition aspect for me.
Okay.
Like to compete, and then the individual aspect that grows the team as a whole. I don't know, like the math and like the quick thinking of running. Just the competition that's where I'm at. I'm not a big fan of like running long distance.
That's so crazy to me. When I think about running, I always think like, you know what, if I'm racing someone, like we're gonna know who won in like 10 seconds. But then like,
No.
you guys are running for so long, and
Yeah.
and it's like, do you ever feel like let's say you're a couple minutes into the race, do you ever feel like it's over, like you're gonna win, or you're just far behind and you can't catch up? Does that ever happen?
A couple times. There's only been a few instances where I'm like, I know how this race is gonna play out.
Yeah, I think.
Because I feel like once you hit your pace, is that just how you're going, or do you?
Oh yeah, once I hit a flow state, like it's over.
But I also think like the whole part of running is like who wants it more and like who's mentally more tough. So like that person up there might have the mentality of like, oh, I've got this in the bag. But little do they know that I'm only a few steps behind them and I'm going to gain on them because I know I want it more than they do. I always think like if I am racing against someone who's a senior and this is their very last race of their season, they are going to give it their all. How much more do I want it than them? If this was my last race, how much more do I want it than them? And so like, it's all mental. It's all mental.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about you guys' upbringing as athletes, you know, any prior sports, or if you played any other sports, and kind of how that shaped you as an athlete.
You can go first.
Okay. I started running in like 5th grade. I moved here halfway through my 4th grade. And then just needed a way to like connect. And then, so 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I was running. It was just fun. And then 8th grade, I was running a race, and I think it was conference of my 7th grade year. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually pretty fast. And I was like, whoa, I'm actually like ahead of a lot of other people. Humbly though, humbly. It's not always like that, but that point in like my running career, I guess I was like, okay, I could actually like do something with this. And then 8th grade year, I tried harder. And then freshman year, I got injured in high school, and then like really got defeated. And that was a huge like breaking point for me to realize that like my running is not like who I am. It's just a really great gift and characteristic of me. And then like the rest of my freshman year, I really just used that time to like focus on me and build up myself. And then coming back, I moved schools sophomore year. And there's a rule where if you run a varsity race, like the season prior, you can't race the following season. Does that make sense? So freshman year, I ran one varsity race. And I moved schools, and I couldn't run varsity for a team that didn't even have a full varsity team. So I was not going to run JV as a team that only had 2 other people. Also, it was really great for me just to like focus on like the transition. But that was huge for me. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm ready to like grind this out, and maybe I could go to college for it, and maybe it's could like pay for my tuition and stuff like that. And God's just like carried me through like my obedience of like letting him work in me. Like I always had like an audience of one mentality where like all the Lord asks of me is like to give my 110%, and if that's like in school, if that's a B, then like that's all the Lord asks for me. And on the course, like if it's like 110% and it's a terrible day, but that's all the Lord could ask from me. So like that has really carried me through it, and God's really putting me on like lots of opportunities to speak to people even about Christ, just like having a trophy in my hand, but still being able to talk to someone. Like the times don't really matter. But yeah, now I made it here. So really just humility, and like I have done past sports, but it all came down to like what's going to carry me further. I've done softball, did like soccer clubs. I've done like basketball. I've done a lot of things, but like just like running's taken me the furthest, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty similar. I started running in 4th grade and kind of just never stopped. I was actually really bad at it for like 4 or 5 years. Like in 4th grade, I was like so slow on the running club that like the coach was like, yeah, she's going to have to stop walking, or I'm going to have to kick her off the team. Oh, no. Like I wasn't even running. I'd go to practice and I'd walk. But then I got to 7th grade, and like my 5K PR was like 15 minutes. Or no, my 3K PR.
Whoa, okay.
5K.
Yeah,
That's
5K.
insane. That's insane.
I've gotten 5 minutes worse. No. My 3K PR was at 15 minutes. And then I got my first pair of spikes. It was over from there. Yeah. Then I actually started like taking it serious and like actually like really trying to work out and trying to practice. And then I don't think it was until like my junior year that I was like, maybe I like really can like do this in college. And then like my coaches helped me like reach out to different schools. And then my coach actually was like, I know the coach at IWU, like maybe I'll email him and like have him email you. And I'd gone on like 8 other visits like prior to coming here, and then I stepped on campus and it was like, whoa, like I have to come here. Like this place is awesome. So yeah, I did no other sports other than that. That was it. No hand-eye coordination for me.
Like I like tried it all.
I tried basketball when I was in like first grade.
There you go.
And no one passed me the ball.
Oh.
All the other 7-year-olds were like, wow, she's terrible.
Hey, but she could run.
Yeah,
Right.
I was
Well,
the
she could
fastest. Well,
run,
I walked
walk.
really fast.
So she mentioned a little bit about her recruiting process. Like, what was it like for you?
I really wanted to commit before the end of my senior cross season, and they ended up committing here in December. So like that really was like not what I expected. I actually took a lot into my own hands. I reached out to colleges that I was thinking of. I really wanted to go to more local colleges, because I live in Fort Wayne. So I really wanted to go like more like Indiana Tech or like PFW and like all those names that we can bleep out if we don't want to have them. But yeah, I really wanted to stay more local, and an hour away isn't that bad, but I really kind of took a lot into my own hands, and I like emailed the coaches. And here we had races here, and so I kind of already knew Coach Byler, but I had a visit. I just visited like every school, and I had a visit here, and I was like, hey, Coach Byler, like, I'm going to be on a visit. Like, can I turn it into, like, a, like, what do you call them? Like, an overnight visit. Mm-hmm. So I actually stayed with Katie. She hosted me, and then I met with Coach the following day. And it took me a long time to be like, yes, I'm all in, because I want to look at everything. And I'll be honest, I didn't really want to go to a private Christian school. I graduated from a private Christian school. It wasn't, like, bad. Like I really enjoyed it, but I really wanted to be like a light in like a diverse area and like a non-religious school, I guess. But as I was just visiting other colleges and universities, like none of them stuck out like this one. It was all like a God thing that was like I just felt peace here. And then just talking to the teammates and coach, like the community aspect, this is super huge. And I guess I just fell in love with it.
It's amazing. Now, talking a little bit about your spirituality, what was your relationship with God like before you came to IWU, and how has it been impacted since you've been here, both of you?
For me, I didn't come to know Christ probably until my junior year. I didn't really grow up like going to church. It was more of like just like an Easter and like Christmas type thing. Like it wasn't like part of my everyday life. Like I never like really opened the Bible or prayed or thought about like my relationship with him as like a living God. So like it was like kind of hard, but I knew that I really wanted to like I wanted that to grow, obviously. So I chose IWU like on purpose. I was like, I know if I go here, like my relationship with him will like continue to grow and continue to strengthen. And like I'm so glad that I did. Like it has been stronger than ever. Like I'm in the Word like every day. I pray every night. Like we have small group together and we like pray for each other. And it's awesome. And Coach Byler, like, instills in us, like, so many different, like, verses in Scripture. Like, he gives it to us, like, before workout. And it's just, like, really something that, like, we can focus on. And, like, before nationals, he was, like, no matter what happens, like, you guys win or you come in last, like, God loves you. Like, this is not who you are. This is just something that you do and something that you can, like, steward your gifts that he's, like, given you for. So, like, and even chapel, like, I know some people like dog on chapel, but I like chapel and, like, I like the worship. And it really does help your spirituality grow. So, like, I couldn't be more thankful for this school and, like, the team. I love it.
Yeah. I've grown up in a Christian household. I'm a pastor's kid, so it's all I've really grown up in. But
Shout out First Assembly.
yeah, shout out. And my dad, Pastor Rob. But
Yep.
yeah, so I grew up in a Christian household. Of course, like, still had, like, trials and errors. And, like, I really think Devil really likes to, like, hit the lead family hard, I would say. So lots of, like, family, like, just dynamic changes throughout high school. And that was kind of difficult for me to, like, work through. But my freshman year, I really became to, like, make my faith my own. And, like, it was, like, one time where, like, I had this really, like, wake-up moment. And, like, the following day I had a retreat. And I went and, like, God really just, like, worked on, like, forgiveness and grace for myself so that then I can forgive and give grace to other people. And so since then, it's been like an ongoing process to like meet with God and in his word and like to get to know him more. And then as like I said earlier, just like being obedient has been a huge thing. That's been my things. Like if I can't, or if I have a really hard time meeting with God like this week, or like I can't be super intentional sometimes because I am human and I mess up and like I'm not constant, but God is. And so like, and he knows my heart. And so coming here, it was hard for me to like find my rhythm of like being completely independent and like finding my own new church, because I don't want to drive an hour home every week to go to church. But still haven't really found the one for me, but I think that's okay. I'm still like looking around, but definitely think small group and chapel has been really good. Again, don't dog on it. Like we started this new like prayer chapel, which I really like, just for me to like refocus them, and like in my week they're on Mondays, and like just journal and like really like study God's word. And that's really cool to have that like really implemented into my week to start my week off, and then still like digging into like whatever we're going through in chapel like on my own, as well as like my own studies. It's been difficult, but definitely it's still growing. Definitely my relationship with God's been going for the better, because it's like here you can just feel God's presence all around, and like seeing God move and like our coaches and our staff and the people around me is also super encouraging.
What are some of the things you guys do as a team for spiritual growth?
Well, we have small groups. On Wednesdays we meet just like during the chapel hour, but we've had a lot of girls share like their testimonies and then like apply that to like how like that's in running, and how like we can apply that to our lives and like how they've grown. We have like big sister, little sister kind of, and so like sometimes girls meet with their big sisters or little sisters, and they just like talk about what they've done and like read, and just like to know that you always have like a group of people who you can talk to. And was it November, October? We like every day we had someone like to meet up with, to make a contact with. It's texting them, just saying hi, just a little bit more intentional. And that's been really cool. Just like have someone reach out to me, or I reach out to them and be like, hey, I just want to let you know I pray for you today. It could be that small, or it can be like meeting to get Macan or something. I've loved that. That's how that's kind of something that we've done. So I've seen so far.
Yeah. We also pray every day before practice. We call it swinkies, sweaty pinkies, because we link our pinkies together. That's like one of my favorite times of the day, because we like connect with the other girls and like get prayer requests and praises. So that's just like a small little way to check in before practice. Like, who can I pray for extra? And like, who can I be like, I'm so glad like you're having a good day. So that's one of my favorite parts, like that we lift each other up.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, I want you guys to give me your favorite story from this season, or memory, or something that's podcast friendly.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can never do this on the spot.
I know, I have to really think.
We're gonna seem like really boring now.
I know,
we don't
we're
have,
not
like,
that
anything
boring. It's just
interesting.
like a lot of like spontaneous things. I think one thing for me is like when all the girls were, not all of them, like half of our team was in Florida for nationals, like a lot of like, we call us like the non-natties, and they're the natties. So the non-natties group chat, we all talked together, and like we write them notes, and like we send them off with like little notes or like just pieces of encouragement. And like that was really cool just to work together, like even though like we aren't physically with them, like we still support them. Another memory is probably when nationals was happening, like on that Friday we all had like a watch party, and like I got to go get breakfast with some of the girls, and then we stayed and watched it, and just to see the girls like on like the screen and like encourage them, and it's like super cool. We also like Christmas wrapped one of our teammates' room, and like all of the things on their walls were wrapped in like wrapping paper. We wrapped their espresso machine. They're in nursing, so we wrapped their lab coats and their pillows, and like Hayes and Lainey. They loved it. That was really fun. Just like simple things like that, like pranks or just like sending encouragement. It's just always fun. Those are highlights.
No doubt.
That's so funny. I think now that I thought about it, have you seen that trend where it's like you make like an AI like homeless person, and then it's like you put them in the back of the bus, and you're like Coach Byler. Like someone did that to you? Yeah. We did that to Coach Byler.
They said there was someone in the locker room.
No.
Bruh. It was terrible.
We did it to Coach Byler because we had like individual like minivans that we had rented to get around when we were in Florida. And Braden Sweet was with us, and I was like, Braden, do you have like the like Gemini? I think he's like, yeah, like we need to like do this prank on Coach Byler. So he took like a selfie as like me, Braden Sweet, and then Abby Matthews and Lainey, and then I forget who else. And we made Abby Matthews, we turned her into this like homeless guy and named Daryl. And the story was that like he had on an IWU sweatshirt, so we decided to like pick him up because he needed a place to stay, so we were gonna bring him back to the hotel. And like Braden sent this text to Coach Byler, and Coach Byler's like we would love to help him, but like maybe just for safety reasons, don't bring him to where we're staying. And so we ended up, and Braden was like, oh, like it's too late, we're here. And so like we walk into the hotel lobby, and Coach Byler's like pacing back and forth, and Braden's like, Daryl's outside if you like want to go meet him. And Coach Byler's like, oh my gosh, are you serious? And then we're like, no, just kidding. But then we were doing an awards night last night, and then Coach Byler got the award most likely to fall for an AI filter.
Dang.
So
Really
that was like a really
I feel
big
you,
team
Coach.
joke.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys both for joining. That's all the time we have for today. Sorry, we're back in the old studio. For those of you wondering, Studio A is cleared out for senior presentations this week, so we had to move in here for an episode. But thank you guys for being flexible with that, and best of luck the rest of this year. And finals week is next week, so got to lock in for that. But thank you all for tuning in to episode 7 of season 8 of Wildcat Week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No problem.